Okay, so hello my dear students, so welcome to the unit learning outcome C of our discussion, week 8 discussion. So for this video, we shall be discussing error correction. So particularly, we need to determine how to prepare necessary correcting entries for prior period errors. Okay. So, ano po ba ang treatment ng prior period error, no? So, as previously discussed in our previous on our previous video, no, an entity shall correct prior errors or prior period errors retrospectively, no, in the first set of financial statements authorized for issue after their discovery by restating the comparative amounts for the prior period presented in which the error occurred. No? So we need to, especially if we are preparing a comparative financial statements, no? So those prior year financial statements should be restated. No? So bali i-correct mo lang yung accounts, no, na may error. Okay? So, restating the opening balances of assets, liabilities, and equity for the earliest prior period presented if the error occurred before the earliest period presented. So, in other words, a prior period shall be corrected by retrospective restatement. No? Meaning to say, yun nga, sinabi ko kanina, when you prepare comparative statements or comparative financial statements, the prior year statements are restated to correct the error, no, for the purpose of comparability. So you need to correct, no, the error before you have comparative financial statement. So the correction of prior period error is excluded from profit or loss. Okay, diba? So pag mag-correct ka ng error, hindi siya included sa profit or loss, but rather adjustment siya sa beginning balance of a retained earnings. Okay, yun siya. So we have three types of errors. We have the statement of financial position error, the income statement errors, and the combined statement of financial position and income statement error. Okay? So, sa statement of financial position error, no, ang problema lang dito is actually ang classification ng account, no? Or improper classification ng account, no? So, ang adjusting entry would simply mean, no, you need to reclassify lang the accounts, no? Kasi parang namali ka lang ng debit. So, instead of debiting yung isang account, ang na-credit mo is ibang account. Okay? For example, notes receivable is debited instead of accounts receivable. So, they're both asset accounts, no, balance sheet accounts. Pero namali lang yung gidebit mo. Okay? Accounts payable is credited instead of notes payable. Yun siya. No? So, both are liability accounts. And preference share capital is credited instead of ordinary share capital. So, of course, yung reclassifying entries mo, of course, you need to parang reverse, no? I-reclassify mo lang yung tama na account. So, say for example, yung notes receivable is debited instead of accounts receivable. So, i-credit mo lang yung notes receivable, then debit yung accounts receivable. Yung accounts payable naman is credited instead of notes payable. Of course, you'll debit lang accounts payable, credit notes payable to correct, no, the entry, diba? And then, preference share capital is credited instead of ordinary share capital. Of course, you need to debit lang preference share capital, then of course credit yung tama na dapat i-credit mo upon entry. Okay? Okay. So again, sa statement of financial position errors, you need to reclassify lang the account balances. Okay. Sa income statement errors naman, of course, anong siya? Same. Same lang din sa statement of financial position error. May problema lang din tayo dito of improper classification of revenue and expenses. Okay? So, income statement errors affect the income statement or nominal accounts only, meaning the improper classification of revenue accounts and expense accounts. No? Yan. So, these errors have no effect on the statement of possession and on net income. So, So, bakit wala man siyang effect sa net income? Na income statement error man siya. Kasi of course, both parehong expenses lang man siya, no, or both income, pero mali lang na account title yung ginamit mo. Pero when you prepare income statement, no, still na consider siya as expense, no, or ang total expenses is not understated or overstated. Parang isang account lang is understated, isang account is overstated, no? Yun siya. Or then the total revenue also is not understated or overstated. So tama lang ang total. It's just that ang composition ng total income and total expenses ang mali. Okay? So thus a reclassifying entry is necessary only if this error is discovered in the same year. So, kung the same year na discover mo yung error, you need to reclassify the error, no? To adjust, to have it on its proper account title, no? Or to adjust the balance of revenue and expenses, no? Okay, so otherwise, if the error is discovered in a subsequent year, no reclassifying entry is necessary because the nominal accounts for the current year are correctly stated. Okay, so kung prior period na siya, no? So you don't need to reclassify na kasi 'di ba both ang income statement accounts naman din is pa ma-close, and then yun nga, wala siyang effect sa net income kasi correctly stated man yung net income, no? So yun siya. So, wala nang necessary entry if subsequent year na-detect yung error. Okay? Say, for example, during 2019, the entity debited purchases instead of office supplies. Now, if the error is discovered in 2019, the reclassifying entry is of yun lang. So, debit ka lang ng office supplies, credit, purchases. Okay, so, reclassify mo lang siya sa tama na account. Okay? Next, ito yung medyo crucial, no? The combined statement of financial position and income statement error. So these errors affect both the statement of position and income statement because they result in misstatement of net income. Diba? So both statement of position errors and income statement errors does not affect net income. Diba? So yung adjusting entry lang are to reclassifying the accounts involved. Dito, sa combined statement of financial position and income statement errors, no, may misstatement na po of your net income. Now, for example, if accrued salaries payables overlooked, the effects are, okay, ito siya. If accrued salaries payable is overlooked, no? So, salaries expense is understated, no? Income statement error. So, of course, hindi ka naka-accrue ng salaries, of course, your salaries expense is understated. And kung hindi ka rin naka-accrue ng salary, di ba, the entry is debit, salaries expense, credit, accrued salaries payable. Of course, liability is also understated or statement of financial position error. And net income is overstated, no? Bakit net income is overstated? Kasi understated yung expense mo. If your net income is overstated, of course, your retained earnings account is also overstated due to the net income is overstated. Okay? So, yun siya. The error is naka-affect, no, sa financial position and income statement. Okay? For example, if depreciation is overstated, so kung overstated yung depreciation is overstated. Okay? So therefore, your net income also, diba, is understated. No? Kasi overstated yung depreciation mo. Property, plant, and equipment are understated. No? Kasi since overstated yung depreciation, overstated din yung accumulated depreciation, di ba? So, pag overstated yung accumulated depreciation, then your property, plant, and equipment are understated kasi you need to deduct the accumulated depreciation and getting the carrying amount of the property, plant, and equipment. Okay? So combined statement of financial position and income statement errors are classified as either counterbalancing errors and non-counterbalancing errors. Again, uh, um, the statement of financial position errors and income statement errors are classified as counterbalancing and non-counterbalancing errors. So what are those counterbalancing errors? So counterbalancing errors are errors which are not detected or automatically counterbalanced or corrected in the next accounting period. Okay, so even though yung error is di mo na correct in a prior period, no? Para mag-self-correct lang siya, okay? Even though hindi mo siya na-correct, it will automatically correct, no, in the next accounting period, okay? In other words, this error will be offset or corrected over 2 periods, or these errors correct themselves over 2 periods, okay? Yan siya. So, effect of counterbalancing error. So, the income statements of 2 successive periods are incorrect. So, para bang, for example, last year, understated yung income, but this year, overstated yung income resulting from that error. Okay? Last year, understated yung income. Ngayon, overstated yung income. Okay? So, the 2-period income is incorrect. Pero, for as a whole, yung retained earnings mo is correctly stated. Okay? Yan siya. The statement of financial position at the end of the first period is incorrect, but the statement of financial position at the end of the second period is correct. No? Yan siya. So, counterbalancing errors normally included the misstatement of the following. So, ito siya. These are examples of counterbalancing errors. Inventory, including purchases and sales. These are counterbalancing. So, if ending inventory is understated, overstated, unrecorded of purchases, and underrecorded of sales, no, counterbalancing yun sila. Prepaid expenses, accrued expenses, deferred income, and accrued income. These are all counterbalancing error. Okay? Say, for example, overstatement of ending inventory. Okay? Overstatement of ending inventory. Okay, so on December 31, 2018, no, the physical count was overstated by 50,000. No? If the books for 2019 have not been closed, the entry on December 31, 2018, to correct the error. Okay, so to correct the error, so you need to debit lang. Di ba kay pag prior period errors, you need to restate, no, the prior period financial statements, and the restatement should be debited should be debited or credited to retained earnings, or to adjust natin yung beginning balance ng retained earnings. Then, so you'll debit retained earnings, credit inventory on January 1, 2019 for 50,000. Okay? So, bakit man natin i-debit yung retained earnings, 'di ba? Yan. Kasi if your ending inventory is overstated, so pag ending inventory ending inventory is overstated, of course, understated yung net income. Okay? Pag understated yung net income, no? Yung cost of goods sold mo is understated. Okay? Pag cost of goods sold mo is understated, your net income is overstated. Okay? Again, if ang ending inventory mo is overstated, understated yung cost of goods sold. No? Pag understated yung cost of goods sold, of course, overstated yung net income mo. That's why. So, kung overstated yung net income mo, therefore, overstated yung retained earnings. Kasi, of course, you'll need, di ba, you need to close the net income, ina-close man yung net income sa retained earnings. Therefore, the retained earnings also is overstated. Yeah, since the beginning inventory, the ending inventory last year is overstated, then yung beginning inventory for the current period. That's why you need to reduce your beginning inventory. Okay, so the retained earnings will be debited, and of course, inventory will be credited, or the beginning inventory will be debited. So, yun nga, the retained earnings account is debited because 2019 net income of 2018 was overstated. Then the ending inventory is credited because the ending inventory on December 31, 2018 was overstated. Yan. So, if the books for 2019 have been closed, no entry is necessary because the error in 2018 is counterbalanced in 2019. No? Nag-counterbalance na siya. Kasi, ito yun, no? So, if your um, 2018 is overstated, di ba? So, I've said kanina, kung overstated yung ending inventory mo sa 2018, then overstated din yung beginning inventory mo, okay? Overstated yung beginning inventory mo sa 2019, okay? So, pag yung beginning inventory mo is overstated, okay? Overstated yung cost of goods sold mo and understated yung net income, okay? So, you take note of that, di ba? So, ang yung 2018 mo na net income, 2018 na net income is overstated. Okay? As a result of the error. Yung 2019 net income mo naman is, yun nga, kasi nga yung beginning inventory mo is overstated, yung COGS mo is also overstated. Diba? Therefore, if COGS is overstated, understated yung net income. Okay? Understated. Yan. So, I have noticed, no, nag-counterbalance, no, ang error, no? So, yung nangyari, no, the overstatement in the net income of 2018, no, then understated din yung net income for 2018, then parang nag-counterbalance yung error, no? Yan. Okay. So, that's why it's called counterbalancing error kasi mag-self-correct siya and you don't need to correct, no, the error if books of 2019 is already closed. So, kung books for 2019 is still open, so you need to adjust lang the beginning balance of the retained earnings to reflect the error. Okay? Next would be understatement of ending inventory. Okay? Understatement. So, again, ano mangyari if understated yung ending inventory? So, pag understated yung ending inventory mo, of course, overstated yung cost of goods sold. Pag overstated yung cost of goods sold mo, of course, your net income is understated. Okay? Let's say, for example, on December 31, 2018, the physical count was understated by 50,000. So, if the books for 2019 have not been closed, the entry to correct the error on December 31, 2019 is to debit inventory for 2019 and credit retained earnings for 2019. Okay? So, I've said kanina, no? Well, ang ending inventory is understated. You're overstated yung cost of goods sold mo, so understated yung net income. No? So, since understated yung net income, so of course, you need to credit retained earnings. Kasi understated yung retained earnings last year is due to the understated of net income. And of course, you'll need to debit inventory kasi nga understated yung inventory. Diba? Yan. So, if the books have not been closed, have been closed for 2019, no entry is necessary because the 2008 in error is counterbalanced in 2019. So, so again, your 2018 net income, as a result of the error, your 2018 net income is understated. Okay? So, ano mangyari sa 2019 mo? If yung error is not detected, no, and is not corrected, and the books have been closed, no. So, nangyari, if the ending inventory for 2018 is understated, of course, the beginning inventory for 2019 no, is understated. So, pag understated yung beginning inventory mo, of course, your cost of goods sold is also understated. Okay? Pag understated yung beginning, understated yung cost of goods sold. So, if understated yung cost of goods sold mo, of course, your net income is overstated. Okay? Yan. So, yun nga, nag-counterbalance na yung error. Okay? So, nangyari, understated yung 2018, pero overstated naman yung 2019 of the same amount. Okay? So, nag-counterbalance na yung error. Okay? We also have understatement of purchases. Okay? So, the entity failed to record merchandise purchase in 2018, okay? The same was recorded in 2019. So, the physical inventory in December 31, 2018 was correctly stated, okay? So, if the books for 2019 have been closed, the entry to correct the error in December 31, 2019 is, yan, okay? Debit retained earnings, credit purchases, okay? So, for 2018, no, ang nangyari is, for 2018, yung purchases mo is understated kasi nga, di mo na-record yung purchases. So, if your purchases is understated, of course, understated din yung cost of goods sold mo kasi understated yung purchases. So, if understated yung cost of goods sold, then therefore, overstated yung net income. Okay? Yun siya. So, nangyari, understated yung purchases, understated ang COGS, so overstated yung net income. Pero, in 2019, no, sa 2019 mo kasi na-record yung purchases. So, yung gawin mo, you'll need to debit lang retained earnings, no, to correct the retained earnings, the beginning balance of the retained earnings, kasi nga, overstated yung net income mo sa prior period. And of course, you'll credit purchases kasi yung 2018 na purchases is na-record mo sa 2019. That was 50,000. So, entry is debit, retained earnings, credit purchases for 50,000. Okay? Yan. So, if the books for 2019 have been closed, no entry is necessary because the 2018 error is counterbalanced in 2019, no? So, kung closed na yung books, no? So, you don't need to make an error kasi you don't need to make an entry kasi nga nag-counterbalance. So, ba't man nag-counterbalance? So, balik natin. For 2018, di ba, understated yung, for 2018, understated yung COGS, understated yung purchases, so understated yung COGS, so you overstated yung net income. Overstated ang net income. For 2019, di ba, sa 2019 mo na yung purchases na supposedly i-record sa 2018. So, therefore, yung cost of yung purchases mo for 2019 is overstated. Okay? Yung 2019 purchases mo is overstated. Pag overstated yung purchases mo, of course, your cost of goods sold is understated. So, if your cost of goods sold mo is overstated. Okay? Okay, again, for 2019, purchases mo, since 2019 mo man siya na-record, your 2019 purchases is overstated. So, pag overstated yung purchases, overstated yung COGS, and of course, understated yung net income. Yan. So, see, nag-counterbalance yung error. Okay, ito. Overstatement of purchases and ending inventory, okay? Overstatement of purchases and ending inventory, okay? The entity recorded on December 31, 2018, 50,000 of purchases in transit to the entity which the entity had no title, okay? So, nag-record siya ng purchases pero hindi pa dapat siya purchases or hindi pa siya i-record as purchases kasi nga wala pang transfer of ownership, okay? So, then the same merchandise was included in the entry in the inventory of December 31, 2018. Okay, so yun nga, nag-overstate yung purchases mo. Nag-overstate yung purchases, at the same time, nag-overstate yung ending inventory mo kasi you've included that purchases in your ending inventory. So, you've included the purchases in transit in your ending inventory. Okay? So, parang we have two errors, no? Error as to purchases, okay? Then error as to inventory, okay? Inventory, okay? Yan. Inventory, okay? So, ano ang effect, no, sa net income, no, for the two error, okay? Yung effect niya sa net income. Okay. So, since overstated yung purchases mo, so if overstated yung purchases, overstated din yung cost of goods sold, okay? Overstated yung cost of goods sold, pag overstated yung cost of goods sold, therefore, your net income is understated. Okay? Understated. And yung ending inventory mo is also overstated. So if ending inventory mo is overstated, of course, understated yung cost of goods sold, and then overstated yung net income, no? That's for 2018, ha? For 2018. So for 2018, okay, no effect yung error sa net income. Kasi yung error ng purchases na understated, no? Understated yung purchases mo, pero yung error mo sa inventory leads to overstatement din yun of your net income. Pero of course, sa purchases kasi, na-record siya sa 2019. So, if books of 2019 have been closed, no, then have not been closed, then na-record mo yung purchases sa 2019, di mo na-record, supposedly, dapat pa-record yung purchase 2019 kasi nga, hindi siya purchase 2018, di ba? Dapat siya ma-record sa 2019 kasi 2019 pa mag-change yung ownership. So, you'll debit purchases, no? For 50,000, and since in relation to overstatement of purchases, your net income is understated. So, therefore, you'll credit retained earnings for 50,000 kasi with respect to this error, understated yung net income mo. Okay? So, for inventory naman, for inventory, okay? For inventory, since overstated yung inventory mo, for 2018, then overstated din yung beginning inventory mo. Okay? And since the error resulted to overstatement of your retained net income, since the ending inventory is overstated, therefore, diba, overstated yung retained earnings with respect to error in inventory. Okay? So, you'll debit retained earnings for 50,000, credit inventory for 50,000. Yan. Okay? If the books of 2019 have been closed, no entry is necessary, no? Kasi nga, these errors are both counterbalance, okay? Counterbalance yung, kasi this is for 2018, di ba? This is for 2018. Yung effect ng error sa 2018. So, yung effect ng error sa 2019, if di na correct yung error, then nag-close na yung books, no? So, anong effect niya sa net income? Okay? For 2019. Okay. So, if understated yung purchases mo for 2018, then overstated yung purchases mo sa 2019. Yan. Diba? Yan. Then, if overstated yung inventory mo for 2018, overstated din yung beginning inventory mo, diba? No? Yan. Then, it result to understated of the net income. Yan. So, take note, na counterbalance lang din, no? Ng two errors. Yan. Counterbalance. So, you don't need to adjust. Okay? Next would be understatement of sales. Okay, understatement of sales. So the entity failed to record sales of 50,000 in 2018, di ba? So the same was recorded in 2019. So the physical inventory was correctly stated on December 31, 2018. Okay? So di ka nakapag-record ng sales sa 2018, but rather you recorded it in 2019, no? So if the books have not been closed, the entity to correct the error. So for last year, if your sales is understated, no? Of course, your net income is understated, no? And then your retained earnings was understated also. And since you've recorded the sales at 2019, so you need to correct, no? Kasi the sales should be in 2018. So, debit sales for 50,000 and other credit retained earnings for 50,000. Okay? Yun siya. So, if the books have not been closed, no entry is necessary because the 2018 error is counterbalanced in 2019. Kasi nangyari, di ba? For 2018, since di mo na-record yung sales, so, understated yung net income mo. Okay, understated. Kasi, uh, understated yung sales, understated yung net income. For 2019 naman, overstated yung sales. Therefore, overstated din yung net income. So, take note na counterbalance na yung error. Okay? Okay? Overstatement of sales and understatement of ending inventory. Okay? To overstatement of sales and understatement of ending inventories. Okay. The entity recorded December 30, 2018, 50,000 of sales in transit and which to have the customer had no title. Okay? Kasi 'di ba, pag sales mo na siya, of course, kung proper siya na sales, you don't need itong include in the ending inventory kasi hindi naman ikaw yung owner ng goods. So, if di pa siya sales, no? So wala pang transfer of ownership, of course, ikaw dapat ang mag-report pa ng inventory kasi wala pang di ba na-transfer ang title kay customer. Okay? So the cost of the merchandise is 30,000 and the same way excluded from the December 31, 2018 inventory. Okay? So since parang ni-record na siya ng sales ng entity, so hindi na rin siya consider as inventory kasi they considered it na daw as sales. Okay? So again, may dalawang error for the sales. For the sales, no? For the sales and of course inventory. Okay? So, yung net income mo sa 2018, no? Net income mo sa 2018. Anong effect sa net income mo sa 2018? So, if your sales is if your sales is overstated, no? If your sales is overstated, of course, overstated din yung net income mo. Diba? And your ending inventory is understated. If ang ending inventory mo is understated, therefore overstated yung cost of goods sold. So, pag overstated yung cost of goods sold, understated yung net income. Okay? Yan. That's for 2018. So, for 2018, wala siyang effect actually sa net income. Kasi, the error in sales overstates net income, the error in inventory understates net income. Okay? Pero, for 2019, no, kasi na-record mo yung sales sa 2019, di ba? So, if totally book have not been closed, so, gawin mo lang is to, debit retained earnings kasi with respect to sales, overstated yung sales mo sa 2018. No? Then overstated yung net income mo. So, overstated din yung retained earnings. Okay? So, and that sales should be recorded in 2019. Diba? So, you should recognize sales for 2019 for 50,000. Again. And for inventory naman, since understated yung inventory mo for 2018, so understated din yung beginning inventory mo. So, If 2019 books have not been closed, then therefore you recognize the 2019 error, no, in 2019 beginning inventory mo. I-adjust mo for 30,000 and credit retained earnings for 30,000 kasi 2018 net income is understated. So understated din yung retained earnings mo. So, if the books have been closed rather, if books have been closed for 2019, no adjusting entry is necessary, no? Kasi of course mag-counterbalance lang yung error, no? Kasi for 2019, no, your sales will be understated. Okay? So, pwede mo siya na so, understated yung sales, understated yung net income mo. And then, for 2019 also, your beginning inventory is also understated. If understated yung beginning inventory mo, understated yung cost of goods sold, so overstated yung net income. Okay? So, take note na counterbalance yung dalawang error. Okay? Yan, na counterbalance. And for the sales, also, and for the inventory, na counterbalance. Okay, so next would be failure to record prepaid expense. So failure to record prepaid expense. Okay, so January 1, 2018, the entity purchased insurance for 2 years, no, for 50,000. The payment was debited to an expense and no adjustment was made, no, on December 31, 2018 for the prepaid insurance. Okay, since this is for 2 years, supposedly, no, yung expense mo should be 25,000 for each year, diba, for 2 years. And since for 2018, no, for 2018, wala kang adjustment, no? So the entire 50,000 was expense since wala kang adjustment, no? So if the books of for 2019 have not been closed, no, the entry to record the error should be since yung 2018 mo, your 2018 na expense is overstated, diba? And your prepaid expense is understated. No, understated. Kasi di mo na-record yung expenses. So, your 2018 net income is understated. Understated siya since overstated yung expense mo, di ba? Kasi instead of ang expense mo lang is 25,000, yan, then yung na-expense mo is 50,000 kasi you've record the entire insurance expense kasi wala kang adjustment. So, then there would be debit prepaid insurance, prepaid insurance, should be prepaid insurance for 25,000, credit retained earnings for 25,000, okay? No. So, if the books of 2019 have been closed, no entry is necessary because the error is counterbalanced. Okay? So, since, di ba, hindi mo na-record yung wala ka na-record na expense for 2019, it's because the entire expense is recorded in 2018. So, parang yung 2019 mo na expense is also understated. Understated siya. So, sa 2018, di ba, your net income, no? Your net income is understated, di ba? Understated by 25,000. Yan. No? Okay, so for 2019 naman, for 2019, since, di ba, wala ka ka-record ng expense. So, yung expense mo is understated. So, pag understated yung expense mo, overstated din, then yung income mo by 25,000. Okay? So, yun nga, nag-counterbalance siya. Okay, yan. Failure to record accrued expense. Ito tayo. Failure to record accrued expense. Okay? So, on December 31, 2018, accrued rent expense of 50,000 was not recorded. No? Yan. Di mo na-record yung accrued expense. Okay. So, if the books for 2019 have not been closed, the entry to correct the error on December 31, 2019 is, yan. So, since di mo na-record yung expense sa 2018, so understated yung expense mo, di ba? Understated yung expense. Understated yung expense. So, mangyayari sa net income. So, it result to net income being overstated. Net income is overstated. Okay. Also, your liability is understated kasi di ka naka-record ng expense, accrued expense. So, your entry, no, would be a debit to retained earnings, credit, rent expense. Kasi ang nangyari, nabayaran mo sa 2019, you've record it at rent expense. So, parang entry mo for 2019, no, you'll debit rent expense, credit cash. No? So, therefore, overstated yung retained earnings mo. So, for 2018, diba? So, debit retained earnings, credit, rent expense for 50,000. Okay? Yan. So, if the books have not been closed, no, so no entry is necessary, diba? Okay. Kasi, for 2018, no, di ka nakapag-accrue na expenses, so your net income, your expense is understated, so your net income is overstated. Okay? So then for 2019, since sa 2019 mo na-record yung expense, ang expense mo sa 2019 is overstated. So pag ang expense mo is overstated, it will happen in your net income. So if your expense is overstated, your net income is understated. Okay? Yan siya. So, nag-counterbalance na yung error. Okay. Ito naman, failure to record deferred income. Okay? Yan, failure to record 50 deferred income. Okay. On December 1, 2018, so the entity received for 2 years in the amount of 50,000. Okay? The same was credited to income and no adjustment was made on December 31, 2018. No? So if the books of 2019 have not been closed, no? So the entry on December 31, 2019 is, no? Okay, kung di pa close yung December 31, 2019, hindi pa close yung 2019 natin. So again, for 2018, you received 50,000. So supposedly, income siya for 2 years, so 25,000 for 2018 and 2019. But na-record mo siya as income, no, for 2019 total 50,000. So therefore, your 2018 net income is overstated by 25,000. Kasi supposedly yung net income mo lang is yung rent income mo lang is 25,000, but you've recorded 50,000, no, na rent income. Kasi you've recorded the entire 50,000 na rent income kasi nga wala kang adjustment na record. Okay? So if the books of 2019 have not been closed, no, so then the entry would be debit retained earnings kasi overstated yung ano mo, retained earnings mo previous year, and then your credit rent income. To recognize rent income for 2019. Okay? Yan yung entry if the books have not been closed. So, if the books have been closed, so no entry is necessary, no? Bakit? Kasi your 2018, so 2018, your net income is overstated. Overstated by 25,000. And then, for 2019 naman, for 2019, so di ka nakapag-record ng net income. So, understated yung rent income mo. So, understated din yung net income mo. Of course, may 25,000. Okay, so yun siya. Nag-counterbalance siya, no? Yung error. 2018 is overstated, but yung net income mo for 2019 is understated also by 25,000. Okay, yun siya. Next is failure to record accrued income. Okay, failure to record accrued income. Okay. On December 31, 2012, accrued interest receivable of 50,000 was not recorded. So, di ka naka-accrue, no, ng income. So, your income is, your interest income is understated. Therefore, understated din yung net income mo. Okay? So, if the books for 2013 have not been closed, no, the entry to correct the error, as of course, you'll debit interest income. Kasi if di mo siya na-record as interest income for 2012, of course, when you receive the interest, ang entry mo, debit cash credit interest income. But the same is, that interest income is for 2012, not for 2013. That's why you need to debit interest income for 50,000, credit retained earnings for 50,000. Okay, kasi nga, di ba, understated yung retained earnings mo for 2012 due to understatement of your net income due to failure to record accrued income. Okay, and if this error is not corrected and the books of 2013 is closed, so no entry is necessary kasi nga, di ba, mag counterbalance lang yung error. So for 2012, your net income is understated. Understated siya kasi nga di ka nakapag-accrue ng interest income. So for 2013, you've recorded the interest, diba? You've recorded the interest in 2013. So therefore, overstated yung interest income mo for 2013. That's why overstated din yung net income mo. Okay? So take note na counterbalance lang yung error. Okay? So we're done with the counterbalancing errors. Okay? So let's discuss na the non-counterbalancing errors. Okay? So yung non-counterbalancing errors are errors which, if not detected, are not automatically counterbalanced or corrected in the next accounting period. Okay? So unlike nung counterbalancing, no, na even though di mo siya na-correct or di siya na-correct sa next accounting period, mag-self-correct siya. Okay? So, but non-counterbalance is actually opposite of that. No? So, if not detected, hindi siya mag-counterbalance. No? So, in other words, if the net income of the subsequent year is understated or overstated, the net income of is not affected. No? Yan. So, effects of non-counterbalancing error. No? The income statement of the period in which the error is committed is incorrect, but the exceeding income statement is not affected. Okay? So, unlike nung counterbalancing na, if your 2018 is understated, your 2019 income is overstated. No? That's why mag-self-correct siya kasi for 2018 understated siya, for 2019 overstated. No? But in this case, if my error sa 2018 na would result to understated of your net income, so hindi maapektuhan yung 2019. So, hindi siya affected, no? Due to the error in 2018. Ganun. So, the statement of position of the year of errors and succeeding statement of financial position are incorrect until the error is corrected. So, hindi nga siya mag-self-correct. The best example of non-counterbalancing is the statement of depreciation. Okay? Ito yung best example natin for January 1, 2012, the entity purchased an equipment with a useful life of 5 years for 500,000, but the same was debited to repair and maintenance. Okay? So, yun siya. Instead of debiting it to an asset account, na-debit mo siya as repair and maintenance. So, meaning to say, na-expense mo yung entire 500,000 on 2012. No? Na-expense mo siya. Okay? So again, this is non-counterbalancing error, diba? So, di mag-self-correct. Okay, so the books of 2013 have not been closed, no? So, second year, no, of the subsequent year sa date of error. no, have not been closed, the entries to correct the error on December 31, 2013 would be, so, yun siya, you have two entries, no? So, you'll debit equipment to recognize the equipment for 500,000 and then credit retained earnings for 500,000. Okay? Yan. To correct the error sa pag-debit ito repair and maintenance, no? Yan. Then, pero, your depreciation for 2012 is understated also, no? Understated yung depreciation mo, so you'll debit depreciation for 2013. This is depreciation for the 13. And then yung depreciation supposedly for 2012, you'll debit it to retained earnings. So, itong depreciation din is for 2013 and ito na depreciation is for 2012. So, yung depreciation mo sa 2012 will be debited to retained earnings. Okay? Yun siya. Credit accumulated depreciation for 200,000. No? Kasi supposedly for 2013, dapat yung accumulated mo is 200,000 na kasi 2 years. So, take note, we have 100,000 na depreciation per year kasi 500,000 divide 5. Yan. So, if the books for 2013 have been closed, so still, you'll debit retained equipment for 500,000 and retained earnings for 500,000 to correct the error of recording it to repair and maintenance account, no? And since closed naman yung so yung depreciation mo for 2 years, no, will be debited na to retained earnings, no? And credit accumulated depreciation for 200,000. Okay? So, we shall have more illustration, no, on next video, no. And so, thank you for listening.